Correct. Serial number which can be assigned to particular ROH or finished good material.
So what are the types of number assigned used?
Internal and external.
Internal or
Yes.
external?
Internal and external.
Internal and external. What is internal? What is external?
Internal means those number were assigned by the system itself, and external means we have to assign as per our convenience.
Okay. Internal is assigned by the system. In external, we have to assign the number manually while creating the material master account. Okay. Now, so your material master material type controls the number assignment. Then what it controls? Number range. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What is the number range? That is also controlled by your material type. Okay. Then procurement type. What is procurement type?
Internal, external.
Yes, internal and external. So how it is controlled by the material type?
If the sales order is there, then it is internal procurement.
If sales order is there, it is internal procurement.
Internal procurement. And if there is purchase order, then it is an external procurement.
Okay. Correct, but you can explain it in different way. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else would like to try? Somya? Okay, field selection. So that is fine. Next is field selection. But everyone knows how procurement type is controlled by the material type, or shall I explain? The first question will be what is controlled by material type, and when you answer these things, procurement type, number range assignment, field selection, then you will say automatic account determination. Anything remain? Procurement type, field selection, number range, automatic account determination, and the user departments. Correct? So how material type controls the procurement type is the next question. Then how your material type controls the automatic account determination is the next question. Field selection will not be asked as a fresher. These things are not expected. Current field selection ja hai material master so thoda complicated hai. So nobody will go into that deep. But this procurement type, automatic account determination, and user departments can be asked. So how do you control procurement type based on the material type? Who will explain me? I guess first lecture we saw this, right? So in OMS2, if you go to OMS2, material type configuration, you have this external purchase orders and internal purchase orders allowed indicator. So if external purchase orders is allowed, so there are three options. First is no external purchase orders allowed. So if you select no external purchase orders allowed, means you cannot procure this material from the vendor. It means external purchasing is not allowed. Okay? If you select external purchase orders allowed, it means you can buy the material from the vendor. It means procurement type will be external procurement. Internal purchase order. So what is meaning of internal purchase order? Either you are buying, internal purchase order means you are buying this material from your another plant and you are not buying it from the vendor. So if you select no internal purchase orders allowed, means you cannot create internal purchase orders. You have to buy this material from external vendor. If you select internal purchase orders allowed, it means you can buy this material from the plant. So if you select option 2 in both the fields, it means internal purchase order and external purchase order both are allowed. If you are allowing only external purchase orders and not the internal purchase orders, then you can buy only material from external vendors. So the procurement type becomes external procurement type, that is F. And if you are not allowing the external procurement type and allowing the internal type, then it becomes the internal procurement type E. Now where you can see the procurement type in material master?
In purchasing view.
No.
MRP.
Yeah, MRP, correct. MRP.
So in MRP view, you can see what is the procurement type of the material. Okay. So if, see now, I'll just quickly take you through this. Okay. So I'm selecting both allowed. Internal and external purchase order, both are allowed. I will save this. Okay. Now MM01. What is MRP type ND?
No planning, sir.
Very good. Okay. You can see here procurement type X. X means both internal and external procurement type. Because in material type we have allowed both internal and external purchasing for this material type raw material. Now what I will do, I will remove this internal purchase orders. Only external purchase orders are allowed. Okay. Now if you go to create the material master, procurement type is F. F means external procurement. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same way, if I select 0 here and 2 here, it will be internal procurement, in-house production, E. And if we select 0 at both places, it will be no procurement. So you cannot buy that material. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next question here is, now tell me material type ROH is used for stock material or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what setting in material type and value update indicator is selected for that material type in your plant, then and only then that material becomes the stock material. Even if the material type is ROH and you have not marked this ROH, for this ROH in your plant, if you do not mark this quantity update and value update indicator, the material will behave like consumable material. So now suppose I have removed this from the plant 1000 quantity update and value update indicator. If I create a material and if I go to buy that material, what are the mandatory views before you create the purchase order? Which views of material master are mandatory to create a purchase order and to do the goods receipt?
Basic data 1, 2, purchasing, then storage location 1, 2, and accounting.
So accounting data and purchasing data are mandatory. Basic data is by default going to be there, but the
Okay.
expected answer is purchasing view and accounting view must be maintained before creating the purchase. Now I have created this material 20. If I go to buy this material 20, what is the error? Account assignment mandatory for material 20. Enter account assignment category. Now this material is raw material, but still it is asking me account assignment category. Why it is asking? Because we have not selected the quantity updating and value updating in the plant. So only when this is selected in your plant, then and then only this material type will behave as a stock material. Understood?
Yes.
Clear
Yes.
everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what are the material types for consumable material? What is material? What are the material types for consumable material?
Valuated, non-valuated.
Evaluated, non-evaluated material types for consumable materials. What are the material types for consumable materials? का नाही सांगता येते? NLAG, UNBW. What is NLAG? What is UNBW? Non-valuated material. Non-stock material. Non-valuated material means what? Quantity update exists for this material, but no value update. Here, neither quantity update, no value update. Okay? So whenever you use a non-valuated material, you track its quantity, but you do not update its value in your accounts. Such materials are categorized or created as non-valuated materials with material type UNBW. And NLAG, these are non-stock materials. So we do not update the quantity to the warehouse, nor we update the value to the stock accounts. So whenever you buy these materials are consumed automatically at the time of goods receipt. Those are posted to consumption accounts. Meaning what? You have to use the account assignment category whenever you create purchase order for such materials. Now, what is difference between UNBW, NLAG, and ROH? What is UNBW? What is NLAG? Again, this is very important. This question will be there in the interview. Understood what is material type UNBW and what is material type NLAG?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the only difference between these material types from the ROH is that now if you go to material type NLAG, which is non-stock material. So here neither quantity update will be there, not the value update. So if you come here, you can see quantity update in no valuation area, value update in no valuation area. So at your plant level, quantity update and value update both are not selected. For any plant, you will find this is not selected. So this is what makes it a consumable material. If you select the quantity updating and value updating here, it will behave like your raw material. So this is the difference between the material type ROH and the consumable material types. Now one more thing is there. For these materials, NLAG and UNBW, both of these material types, there is no accounting view. Accounting view does not exist. Because no value update. So both the material types, there is no value update. And if there is value update, then and then only automatic account determination will happen. And for automatic account determination, we maintain the accounting view. But for these materials, there is no automatic account determination, so there will not be any accounting view. So all this, whatever we discussed, is important from your interview, okay, interview point of view. All these questions you have to prepare before going to interview, okay, for material master data. Okay, now one more thing you can do is that from each view, for example, purchasing view, note down the important fields. For example, automatic PO is there, purchasing group is there, purchasing value key is there. In accounting data, you have valuation class, price control. In basic data, base unit of measure is there, material group is there. Then you can go to plant data. In plant data, what are the important fields? Okay. Likewise, you just have to go through the important fields in each view. So there might be a chance they will ask you, okay, what are the important fields from a particular view? So if I am an interviewer, I'll ask you, what are the important fields in accounting data that we must maintain? And what is the importance of those fields? So you have to mention the valuation class and price control, and you have to explain what is valuation class and why it is entered in the material master, and what is price control and what is its role in material valuation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next thing is, now we are done with material master, then go to vendor master. So when someone asks you what is important master data in materials management, you just have to specify material master, vendor master, and purchasing info record. And if you want, you can mention the source list, but then wait. Let them ask the question. Do not explain what is then material master, what is vendor master. Do not start to explain. So wait them, they will ask the next question. So first answer should be material master, vendor master, and your purchasing info record. Then the interviewer may ask you any of the questions that we discussed on the material master. Now we will see what questions can be there on the vendor master. So on vendor master, there are only two important things that you must know. Okay. Apart from that, there may not be any question on vendor master. So first thing is, just like material type, you have here vendor account group, right? So you have to explain. So the question would be like, what is the importance of vendor account group, or what vendor account group controls? Now, what your account group controls? Again, it controls number assignment and number range. Okay. Then it controls the field selection. What are the attributes that we can assign to fields using the field selection? Data retention levels. And what is the last thing? Schema, partner schema. What I was asking? What are the attributes that we can assign to the fields using field selection? What is meaning of field selection?
In field selection, we hide the field, and mandatory the field for we can mandatory or
Correct. Go ahead.
mandatory the field for process means in 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 Metal Master the the valuation class is mandatory. Then we valuation class field is mandatory. This is a
Valuation class is mandatory.
yes sir.
So what is the what I asked you is what are the attributes that we assign to the fields using field selection? So in that, how valuation class is coming. So whenever someone asks you what is field selection, remember this word HDMO. Okay, so H is for hide or hidden. So you can make a field as hide or hidden. Okay. D is for
Display.
M is for mandatory, and O is for
Optional.
optional. So we can assign these attributes hide, display, mandatory, optional to any field in the screen. That is what is called as field selection. Okay. Now, data retention levels, vendor subrange or plant you can mention. Nobody is going to ask you in detail what is data retention level, because at this point of time you will not able to understand that concept. Okay. Partner schema. What is partner schema? What is partner schema? Sorry. So partner schema is used to determine the partner functions. What are partner functions?
Various different partner with which we can complete the process, as like we can say that as like Amazon, ordering party is different, invoicing party is different, and the goods sending party is different.
Correct. Okay. So we can have different vendors working with us, or we can do the same activity with the help of one vendor. So one vendor can play multiple roles, or there will be different parties which will be involved in one transaction. So to use this, we use the partner functions. Now the partner functions are determined in your vendor master record based on the partner schema. Okay, so you have different partner functions like ordering address, goods supplier, invoicing party. So if you want to maintain different vendors into your vendor master as partner functions, you use partner schema. And this partner schema is maintained in your vendor account group. What is the transaction code for the configuration of vendor master or vendor account group? What is the transaction code to configure the vendor account group?
OMSG,
OM?
SG.
Yes. Okay. So these important transaction codes you should remember. Material type आहे, vendor account group is there. Okay. So you must remember. Sorry, I went to OMS2. It should be OMSG. Okay. So if I go to its details, so all the 5 things, whatever we discussed, are available here. So you must be able to remember this screen when someone asks you what vendor account group controls. So vendor account group controls the number range, whether it is internal or external, whether it is one time.
Sir, we can use OBD3 also, no?
Vendor.
Hello?
OBD3.
Huh?
Let me check. I have not used it. Yes, you can use this also.
And first of पहिलं कोण OMSG.
OMS. But here,
Okay.
if you see, some things are missing here. Okay. For example, you cannot see the data retention levels and the partner scheme, partner determination.
In OBD3.
These things in OBD. In
Okay.
OBD3, you are missing this. Okay. So OMSG is the correct transaction code to use.
Okay, okay.
So this, I guess, is particularly for the field selection.
Okay.
Okay. Now, see here. So number range, what is one-time account? You can maintain the field status here, data retention levels here, and the partner determination procedure, that is nothing but the partner schema purchasing organization is L1, sub range is L2, and plant level is L3. Okay. So if you have not practiced partner schema or partners procedure determination, practice it. Okay, at least you should maintain the partner functions, and in vendor master you should determine them. Okay, so all these parameters are controlled by your vendor account group. Number range, number assignment, whether internal or external, field selection, then data retention levels, whether it's vendor sub-range or plant, partner schema, and one-time vendor. What is one-time vendor? The next question is, what is one-time vendor? What is one-time vendor account? And the third question is a reconciliation account. So these are 3 important questions on vendor master record. What is one-time vendor account? Then we have purchasing group, purchasing info record. Purchasing info record. So first question is, what is purchasing info record? Second question is, how price is determined in purchase order. Okay.
One-time vendor is used for purchasing a material only in year or 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 when we required for material. That time we procure material from this vendor.
Okay. So how this vendor account is different from the other vendor accounts? Regular vendors. How this is different from the regular vendors?
All one-time vendors account uh, they have assigned a one jail account.
Okay. What is a one-time vendor account and how you process transactions using one-time vendor account?
In OMSG, we can maintain a one-time vendor. Tick on the
In OMSG, we can maintain one-time vendor account. That is correct. So what I am expecting is, what is difference between regular vendor and one-time vendor account?
We do not keep a master record for a one-time vendor.
Hmm? Correct. Go on.
That is a major difference in a regular vendor and the one-time vendor.
We do not maintain address data as well in one-time vendor. Address data and bank detail data.
Okay. So who said this? Sagar. Right?
Sagar, yes.
So if you do not store the address and bank data, how this data is used in purchase order?
For example, if we need some low valuated material like paper and stationery, then we can buy it from different suppliers.
What is my question? My question is that you said that you do not maintain the address and bank details of the vendor in vendor master record for one-time vendors. So how this data is used in purchase order or invoice verification? What is one-time vendor account? Using one-time vendor account, you can create one-time vendors. Now, what Sagar said is correct. You do not maintain the address data and in bank details of the vendor master into the one-time account. So you can use this one-time vendor account for multiple vendors. Same vendor code you can use for transaction with multiple vendors. So whenever you create a purchase order for one vendor, at the time of creation of PO, you enter the address details of the what you explained. कोणाला कळलं? How many people understood what Sagar said? Just checking if I find the one time. So, okay. Now I have given you the clue. So we are stopping here. So this, all these questions is your assignment for tomorrow. So while coming tomorrow, you must come with answers of these questions. Okay. So we will explain all this in detail. Now, first question is, what is one-time vendor account? That you have to explain me tomorrow. Okay, you have to explain me with an example how the process for one-time vendor account is carried out. Okay, so you know one-time vendor account, you just explain that. What you people are explaining is that we create one purchase order in a year. That's fine, that's sufficient. Okay, but how actually is the process carried out? How the purchase order is raised on the one-time vendor? How the invoice is booked on the one-time vendor? Or how you can use the one-time vendor code for multiple vendors? Okay, so you have to explain me with an example tomorrow how you will do this. Then what is reconciliation account? You must know the use of reconciliation account or the definition of reconciliation account. Then what is purchasing info record? On which organizational levels purchasing info record is maintained? How the price is determined in the purchase order from the purchasing info record? Then what is the source list? What are the important fields in source list? Block is there, fixed vendor is there, and MRP indicator is there. So all this you have to read. What is the importance of blocking? What is the importance of fixed vendor? What is the importance of MRP indicator? Then how you block the vendor in the source list? How you block the material in the source list?